So here we go. This is what we've just finished in terms of our milling, right? And I won't bore you with the whole assembly process, but one thing that I talked about was go ahead and make sure you have everything sanded first and then work on assembling. One of the things I also like to do is I like to go ahead and put one coat of clear coat on here first before I get too involved with that. That way I can always kind of sand through and work on anything else that needs to be done. I also like that before I start doing any kind of laser engraving. So what are some of the tricks in order to put these little hinges in? A couple of things to note. One, make sure you know exactly where that hinge and how it's going to open so that when you're placing it in here, it will actually work correctly. And I only say this just because knowing me, sometimes if I'm not paying attention, I need to make sure that I've got that lined up right away. Now, there is one other thing that I've done in order to create something a little bit more accurate, is that I took an old pair of bushings that I use for turning pins, right? So these are the bushings that normally fit inside of the brass tube. I took it to my quick little metal cutting bandsaw with a pair of vice grips and cut it so that I can do a little bit better job of pressing these in. As a matter of fact, I actually used the small side and it works just perfectly. If I open that up, it just gives me a little bit better press in order to finish the last part, if that makes sense. And all I do is I just use these little tiny quick grips. I take the one side cushion off so that as I'm pushing down onto that bare metal, it works, and then I'm not scoring the other side since I do have the cushion left on. So I don't want to bore you with that, but that's exactly how I work on pressing these in. I do add a little bit of CA glue into all of these components just to keep it a little bit more solid. I do that rather than trying to do these tiny little screws because I don't want to split any of the wood. Those are just some of my preferences in terms of how I finish putting these together. The next thing that we have to look at, here we go. Foam. You can get this at basically any hobby store. I just get the big sheets and then cut it to the thickness that I think I want. And then I'll go ahead and again, a little dab of CA glue on the back side of it, cut these out and I can position them in there. And you can have more or less depending on if you've got smaller dry flies or smaller nymphs. If you're using something bigger like grasshoppers, stone flies, you may want to put those over on the other side. Again, when you think about what your clearance is going to be, you won't necessarily have a lot of room in between your foam and then the other side of the foam. If you want to stagger these, that's another thing to take into consideration as well. So you can truly customize these to whatever you would like. You could even lay in a very thin sheet of foam or cork in order to put that in there. Or you could also put in some of your magnets if you want something that is holding the magnet to the actual hook. So those are some of the final options in terms of creating your fly box. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Get out there and make a few of these. Do some laser engraving, do some xsTECH engravings as well, and have a fun time with these. Thanks so much for watching.